This is the machine I'm replacing. It's a home light. I've had it for a long time. Carburetor needs to be rebuilt. It starts funny. It doesn't stay running. Or part of the issue with gasoline engines is that locally to me I don't have access to pump gas that doesn't have ethanol in it. So I have to kind of use it, although I could use the stuff at the home center that's in the gallon can that, you know, it's $20 a can. You know, that's just not something that I've done before, so probably won't go that route. I did just replace this with this Ego electric or battery powered. This is my first battery powered tool. I've been using it a couple of weeks. It certainly does the trick. Battery is certainly powerful for me to make around my property with who knows how much left over. It's never gone dead on me. But yeah, it's variable speed. It's got a sort of a safety latch on this side before you can pull the trigger. This is adjustable. You can kind of put it where you want, much like any other, I suppose. This I could probably move and put it where I want to. They advertise this carbon fiber shaft, and they advertise this as the shaft being lifetime warranty. But, you know, really, come on. This is an aluminum shaft. Have I ever had a problem with it? No. Would the shaft on the aluminum one last me a lifetime? Or probably, if the rest of the machine would. I would expect that the carbon fiber would be very similar. So the fact that it's carbon fiber, probably not a big deal. If this were an aluminum shaft, you know, hey, it would be just as good, I'm sure. The only thing that this does is there's some cabling that runs down inside it. The motor for this unit is here, and the trigger is here, the power source is here. There's some cabling that runs through it to get down to the motor, and it's that simple. I don't think it matters that it's a carbon fiber shaft. Maybe it's a little lighter, I don't know, aluminum's not heavy. The whole thing is very light. The weight of it is on the ends, right? Battery's pretty heavy. The motor's got a little heft to it. But overall, it's weighs about the same as this gas-powered unit. Difference being most of the weight on the gas-powered unit is in the back. And so does that change the balance of it? Maybe a little. This is probably balanced a little bit better. But either way, the point of this is the convenience of not having to deal with the fuel, the cost, the maintenance. It's just a matter of keeping the battery charged, and the head with the line is certainly much more convenient. I took this line off a couple of weeks ago and re-spooled it to show you how it spools back up, and I'll play some of that footage. This goes through one of the holes. just feed it straight through, just like that. Pull it through. The advantage to having the safety shield on is that there's a cutter on it, so if you don't get this or exactly even, the cutter will do its thing. That's close enough. So, that in, battery has to be on. Battery in. You need power to drive the head. Press this green button on the top. That's what I'm talking about, one side's longer than the other. And normally that wouldn't be an issue if you're using the safety shield. There's a bit of a cutter on here. I'm going to not use but I wouldn't recommend that. That's just my preference. But I will, I'll snip it to make them even. Like I said, with this cover on here, when this thing spins, any long pieces will cut off right here. Got the diameter specified. I think this is a 15 inch. So I imagine from end to end would be 15 inches. So I'm going to snip some of this off here to make them about even. With this gas-powered machine, the head that's on it, there's oil all over this thing. I read somewhere that in order to keep the oil from coming out of the exhaust, you need to run it at full throttle all the time. Well, that's just not practical. But in any case, the head on here is, it's not a continuous feed or a loop or a spool. It's a one-piece deal, and so every time one of these wears out, you got to put a new piece on. And these are the style. This is the style line that this unit takes. Now it's certainly a pain in the neck, and I've been doing it for a long time, so I kind of got used to it. But it's going to be nice to go to a spool and not have to deal with this every time. This gets shorter and shorter and shorter. You kind of make do because you don't want to change it. With this new machine, that goes away for me, so I'm pretty happy about that. Price-wise, the electric one was a little bit more, pretty easy to find, around $200, sale or no sale. But that's what it is. I mean, I intend to get additional tools. The thing with the Eagle line is that their batteries are supposed to fit every one of their tools. There's 3 different battery sizes, and I say sizes, not the physical size, but the amp hours. There's 3 different ones: a 2.5 amp hour, a 5.0 amp hour, and I think it's a 6.5 amp hour. And basically all it is how it doesn't change the power of the unit itself, but it does change the longevity that the battery lasts, so the power source lasts much longer the bigger the amp hour battery is. And so it's interchangeable. Each battery is interchangeable with all of the Eagle line. So I'm anxious to try it out. I want to go with the blower next. We'll see how that goes. I know a lot of folks complain about battery powered blowers regardless of manufacturer. I think with the blowers, a lot of people expect that, you know, they're going to be able to do a whole yard worth of leaves on a battery before it goes dead, and that's really just not the case. I think a better use of a battery powered blower would be to blow grass clippings and fertilizer off your driveway back onto your grass after you're done mowing and fertilizing and what have you, right? Doing a little cleanup on your walkway, stuff like that. But to do a whole yard worth of leaves with a battery powered blower just doesn't, it's not practical unless your yard is very tiny and you don't have that much, and you don't have very many leaves. Otherwise, this is, you know, you're going to need a different source unless you have 4 or 5 batteries and you really want to go at it that way. You know, more power to you, but for me it just doesn't seem practical. I've got a corded blower, and guess what? It starts every time. I don't have to worry about fuel. I don't have to worry about maintenance. I don't have to worry about winter storage. None of that. I do have to, however, deal with a cord, which is kind of a pain. But you know, once you get past that, you know, it's not too hard to deal with. Now the batteries for these are pretty expensive, which is probably why the cost of the tools are up there. I think I saw the blower, or the upgraded blower was $300, but that includes a battery and charger. I think if you want to buy batteries separate, they're about $150. But certainly would make this trimmer at $200 a pretty good deal. So that's it. Thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next time.